And up until October of 2014, I was the Director of Human Resources. However, now I'm in a new role here at Ames, and I'm the Chief of Strategic Planning and Organizational Development, or you can just say CSPOD for short. Dee Schultz, who's in the back of the room there, is now the new Director of Human Resources here at Ames, and she's been with us for quite some time. She was previously the Assistant Director of Human Resources, and so she knows probably a lot more than I do about human resources. In my new role, I also now oversee the Department of Human Resources. I also oversee the Department of Institutional Effectiveness and Assessment. Okay, so everybody should have a copy of this handout. Just going to be a copy of the slides. I'm going to give you a brief overview on Ames Community College, talk a little bit about the organizational structure, show you a little bit about the Ames vision, mission, and values, talk about the academic divisions, and then show you a couple of the campuses. And of course, if there are any questions at any time, please feel free to raise your hand. I am a fast talker, and I've had one cup of coffee this morning. It is a really strong cup of coffee. So if I start talking really, really fast, please just kind of raise your hand and have me slow down. Plus, I talk really fast when I get excited, and I always get excited when new folks are coming on board here at Ames. And so welcome. Just out of curiosity, by show of hands, how many of you folks are full-time? Full-time faculty. Great. Yeah. 3, so 3 of us. Awesome. How many part-time? How many don't know? All right, great. Great. So, let's see here. And slide. Great. So, any good organization has a vision and a mission and values. Because really our vision is what's guiding us toward the future. Over the past 18 months or so, we've actually been going through strategic planning here at Ames as an institution. And we've revisited our vision and actually added a bit to the vision and changed a little bit. And so what you're seeing right there is our most recent version of the vision, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. And then you can also see our mission that's embedded with that vision there. I'll give you a couple minutes to read that. And so one of the reasons that we use general language in the vision is because we want it to be a destination institution, not just for students. We want this to be a destination institution for people that want to come and work at Ames. That's really part of our vision as human resources, is to make Ames the employer of choice in Northern Colorado by 2020. We want folks to come beating down the doors to work at Ames. Because I'll tell you, I just hit my 12th year here at Ames, and I love it. I know Tricia's been here for a number of years, and she's still here, so I think she loves it. I won't speak for her. It really is a great place to work. Ames Community College, we're a community within the college itself, but we're also a community within the Greeley community, and a pretty tight-knit group here. Small enough to know everybody, but big enough to not get in everybody's business. And so I really have enjoyed working here. And so that's kind of one of the reasons we used general language like destination institution, so it applies both to students and to employees. So any questions on the vision or mission right now? Okay. Here are our core values, and the next slide will go into our core values a little bit in more detail. It was about 2 years ago, Dee, was it 2 years ago, that we revisited the values as an institution as well. So that was about a 12-month project where we took a look at our old values, put the values out to the institution, and asked for feedback and input as an institution of what we think our values are and what we want folks to know that they can expect from us when they walk through the doors and through the halls of Ames Community College. And so this is what we've come up with. And everybody should have a little card, that little brown card of the values, I think, in their packet somewhere. That's a values card, okay? And these are our values in a little more detail here. So I'll give you a couple minutes to read through those. Did you find those cards? Yeah, great, cool. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Those are done by our Community and College Relations Department, Allison Byerly, Bethany Dubois, Jenna Oliver. Those folks from together have a fantastic department. They're fantastic graphic artists. One of the cool things about our values here, we've actually incorporated the values into a lot of the things we do at the institution. We've actually tied these values to the staff performance evaluation, not necessarily the faculty performance evaluation. However, during the faculty performance evaluations, a lot of times you'll have discussions about the values with your supervisors or deans. Okay. So any questions on the values so far? Okay, great. Man, you're an easy crowd. Love it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about org structure. This organizational structure slide is actually right from the website at Ames, and you can actually access through the Human Resources page, through My Ames when you log into My Ames. Okay, yeah, it's www.ames.edu. Then you'll log in with your username and password, and you'll see a number of tabs across the top. I believe there's a faculty tab, student tab, and an employee tab. If you go to the employee tab, left-hand side, you see Human Resources, and you can pull up this org chart. It's actually really cool. We worked on this. This was about a year-long project as well, wasn't it, Dee? Where before it was a very cumbersome process to actually access the org chart. Oh, you remember? And then have to go back and forth and back. And now what's really cool is, with this one, wherever you see a down arrow, that means there are other folks underneath that position. And what's really cool is, once you click it here and you come, there'll be an up arrow to go back up, as opposed to having to use your web browser's back and forth buttons, okay? So here's our org structure. You can see obviously Dr. Liddell at the top. Everybody that's in green is associated with the president's office. Okay. Dean Reynolds in red, that's Division 1. We try to keep colors matching so folks know who they're with. Division 2, Dean Johansson is in purple. Division 3 is Dean Hanks. Division 4 is Dean Umbaugh. Then, of course, you see our Dean of Student Services, Dr. Matajevic there in pink, and then our Chief Business Officer, Bob Cox, in orange. Well, what's not here is the accreditation and compliance. It's popping off the slide there. And that is Carolyn Woodruff, actually, who is our AQUIP compliance officer and helps the institution out with AQUIP, Academic Quality Improvement Program. So, any questions on the org structure so far? Great. Here are your senior management representatives. I didn't show them this slide because I'm sure they'd been really upset with me by posting their photos on there. And so you can see senior management comprised of the president, the academic deans, the chief business officer, the chief information officer, and the dean of student services. Okay. So these are the decision makers here at Ames. They meet every Monday at 1:30 in the president's office. Okay. Okay. I thought for sure this would get like a ooh, no, no, I know. Come on, I'm a rookie PowerPoint person, so anyway, that's your senior management team, senior leadership team. Dee also attends those senior management meetings on Mondays, talk about personnel items and personnel issues, and from time to time I'm asked to sit in to provide advice and counsel, as well as Sandra Owens, who's our in-house legal counsel. So, any questions on senior management so far? Okay, too easy. Here's Division 1, Dean Reynolds. And again, there are a number of different departments underneath a couple of these sections here. If you want to go in more detail, of course, please take a look at the org chart, and you can see online, you can go down and see what's going on underneath. So for example, under Evan Oakley, there's also speech, composition, and reading. Under business, there's like ag business, there's accounting, marketing, those departments there. Division 2 we like to refer to as an allied health and human services kind of division, because that was kind of cool. That's where you see a lot of the allied health and human services functions and specialties. That is now Dean Johansson. Used to be Dean Norwood, who is now the provost, but now we've actually brought Dean Johansson on board, who used to be an associate dean in that division. So, okay. Division 3, Dean Hanks. Division 3, you'll see a lot of the oil and gas, energy type things, engineering, AutoCAD, specialties and functions. You have math in there as well, early childhood education. So we tried to group like subject with like items. Division 3 is just kind of all others, you know. And then we recently created Division 4, which is the Extended Studies Division. And you can see all of the entities that actually fall under Extended Studies. You see we have the grants under Extended Studies, we have the Academic Resource Center, which is up in part of the library. We have the library services up there. Distance learning, Again, that's formerly known as continuing education, so all those programs like construction, working, heavy equipment certifications, those things that are available to the community that may not necessarily be for credit types of classes. The other big area is this, academic pathways. Okay, so academic pathways are all those other programs that provide individuals a pathway into Ames Community College or a pathway to an education, like your high school diploma program, your GED program, your English as a second language, intensive English language program. So it's those types of things, and Dean Meyer is actually over that now. Any questions so far? Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about strategic planning. So as I mentioned, for about a year, 16, 18 months, Ames has actually been undergoing a new strategic planning process, and so I just want to share with you kind of a graphical representation of our strategic plan, but not in so many details. I am very much a visual person, and I see things in pictures, and it helps make sense when I see it in pictures. So again, you see our vision up here, and with that vision, we have these 3 long-term goals. Now, those long-term goals can also be considered a condition. When those conditions are met, then we know we've reached our vision. Okay? Underneath those long-term goals, there are actually midterm goals, and you'll actually see a larger breakout of this in a couple more slides. And then activities and short-term goals that support the midterm goals, which support the long-term goals. So it's just everything is nested within the long-term goals to get us to that vision, if that makes sense. Okay? Right now, we've been actually going under a 4-phase strategic planning model with formulation, development, implementation, and evaluation. Right now, we're in the 3rd phase of implementation, getting ready to move into the 4th phase, which is evaluation, where I will work with Leanne Sappington, the Director of Institutional Effectiveness and Assessment, and meet with leads for each of the activities to help determine whether or not their activity we can create a measure of performance or a measure of effectiveness. Okay? Quick show of hands, how many folks are familiar with MOEs and MOPs? Awesome. So if I mess this up, can you please help me? Okay. A measure of performance is much like a checklist, right? In terms of, are we doing things right? Much like a technical guide or technical manual that a IT person might follow. Is step 1, are we doing this right? Check. Are we doing this right? Check. Are we doing this right? Check. A measure of effectiveness, right? I got that right? Cool. A measure of effectiveness is, are we doing the right things? So, for measures of effectiveness, we're going to measure whether or not we're doing the right things to move us from our current state to our desired future state in that vision. Are these programs the right things that are helping us move forward and move from our current state to our desired future state? So that's what we're going to be doing with in the next few months or so, is talking about MOEs and MOPs. Does that sound about right? Whew. Sometimes I flip those, you know. Yeah, especially when I get to going talking fast and then everybody's confused. So I'm glad I didn't confuse you all. So I explain this again. Current state, desired future state, long-term goals, all the activities that are going to get us from our current state to our desired future state. Just last week, we were able to finalize the 145 plus activities across the entire institution that support all of these midterm goals and long-term goals. And that is actually out on the website as well. Okay? And I'll prepare to take this down because it's about 4 or 5 clicks in. And so again, it's on the My Ames, the employee tab, virtual reference manual. Then you'll see a link for reports and surveys. Okay, and then there'll be a strategic plan link there. And you can see all the updates from when we started this back in February of 2013, I think. We talked about it, 13, at Conversation Day, up until where we are just last week. Okay. The 150 plus activities are actually, there's one big Excel spreadsheet with 3 tabs, and then I created another one that's a printable version that has about 8 tabs, so you can actually print it, landscape on Excel spreadsheet, legal paper, so you can see all 140 some activities. And what that is called is actually called a task map. And what that task map does is that shows how we are synchronized across space and time as an institution by division. So everybody knows what other people are working on so that we're not double tapping and we're not wasting resources. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions on this so far? Awesome. So now, again, what we're going to do is break out these long-term goals, to all the midterm goals across the institution that are associated with that long-term goal. And we'll do that for all 3 of them. So here are the midterm goals and targets that support long-term goal number 1. And I'll give you a couple minutes to look those over. You'll notice on midterm goals 1, 2, and 3, down at the bottom in parentheses, you'll see a KPM 3.1, KPM 3.3, and KPM 2.6. Those are key performance metrics that we have agreed to achieve in the state performance contract, the contract with the state. So those are non-negotiables. Yeah, and they're required for us to achieve in the state contract. So you see a lot of those goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely, along those SMART principle and concept. So, any questions on the midterm goal to long-term goal breakout for long-term goal number 1? And again, on all the slides, you'll see this current state at the bottom, and again, thinking about our vision as our desired future state. Okay? Long-term goal number 2, you see all the associated midterm goals and targets that support long-term goal number 2. And you can see long-term goal number 2 about continuing to enhance and improve or improve and enhance AIM's image and reputation. Again, general language, because we're trying to do that both on the student side of the house as well as the employee side of the house. There are a number of activities that I put in the strategic plan before I turned it over to Dee, or before Dee became the director of HR, and I'm smiling because there are a lot of them, and I know she's really, really busy. So we're trying to enhance and improve AIM's image and reputation both on the student and employee side of the house. Some of the ways we do that on the employee side of the house is we look at our benefits, look at the holidays. Most recently, we actually adjusted our tuition reimbursement policy and included a tuition waiver portion for current AIMS employees. And what that means is, in the past, as an AIMS employee, if you want to take classes at AIMS, you'd have to pay for the class up front, pass the class, and then request reimbursement. Well, now, if you're an AIMS employee, there's no upfront out-of-pocket expense for you taking that class. Because what we found was, in the past, that was prohibitive. I mean, a lot of folks can go on and work on their associate's degree if they wanted to, because they end up paying $1,500, $1,800 out of their pocket in the semester. Per semester, that's $3,600 a month. I mean, a year. And so I was really happy that the senior management, the president, and the board approved that tuition component of the tuition waiver and reimbursement piece. I encourage you to go out and, when you have some free time, not that folks have a lot of free time, especially if you're teaching, I know that you do take a look at our policies and procedures, especially the ones that benefit you as employees. In particular, that tuition waiver and reimbursement piece. Because that applies both to full-time and part-time. Okay? Because a lot of times what we're trying to do in human resources is make sure that the benefits apply to all employees. Okay? Not just specifically full-time benefit employees. Okay? So any questions on long-term goal 2 or any of the midterm goals associated with that? Again, you'll see some of the KPMs there. Long-term goal 3, attaining long-term financial and operational sustainability. You see all the associated midterm goals there. If at any point in time after today you do have any questions about the strategic plan or any of the midterm goals or long-term goals or verbiage or activities, please feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. I've been working on this thing for about 18 months and working with a number of folks, and so I can tell you what I know, and what I don't know, I'll find out the answer for you. Okay.
Do we have a percentage for number 3 under long-term goal 2 to increase completion rate? Do we have a baseline?
I'm sorry, long-term goal 2, sorry.
Yeah.
Long-term goal 2, midterm goal 3?
Yeah. I don't see a percentage there. I'm just curious if you guys have established one or if that's still in the works.
That is a great question. I owe you an answer on that. If there was a percentage that was established, I would have put it there, but I've been known to typo or delete it. So I will get that answer and get it out to Trish, and maybe Trish can help get that out to everybody since she'll have all your contact info. How's that sound? Man, that's a good question. I'd venture to say it's probably in the KPM, because that verbiage in there is right out of the key performance metric.
That's
right.
why I wondered if it had a percentage within it.
Yeah, I don't think there was actually a percentage rate, but like I said, I'll get you the answer. Yeah, because that's right out of That's right, the verbiage right from the KPM itself. I think we were actually checking back with the state to see if we actually had to establish a percentage. Because a lot of times the state verbiage is very general and they leave it up to the institution on what type of percentage they want to. But either way, we still need to make sure that it's measured. Although having general terms like that, though, if we do 1%, yay, 1%, because we did what we said we were going to do, right? Yeah, so that's a great question. I'll get an answer on that. Let me mark that down. So here's long-term goal number 3. Again, all the midterm goals to support long-term goal number 3. So midterm goal number 3 on this particular one, it's really hard to have a measurable for that because as a master schedule, building schedule, they have their own metrics or milestones that they have to meet. And so for me to put those in here would be, man, it'd be tough. Or for us to put those in here would be tough because we have a number of different construction projects going on at any one time. So, but I'm going to percentage. And I really hope that I didn't make a mistake on that one because then I have to go and change everything. And no, I'm just kidding.
Well, I thought you guys were 1%. Hey, we did good.
Yeah, no, yeah. So again, that's one of the beauties of having general language in there. But you're right, we should have a percentage, or at least something in there that says, hey, this is our target that we need to meet. So any questions on the strategic plan so far? Awesome. So obviously, you're on the Greeley campus. How many folks are familiar with the College Center? Okay, the College Center is just over that way. We're in Ed Beatty Hall right now. The College Center is a one-stop shop for students. I mean, they can go advising, testing center, financial aid, registration, admissions and records, all right there. It used to be up in the old General Services building, which is now the Cornerstone. What you see up here, it says General Services, should actually change that to Cornerstone. That's where a lot of the behind the scenes, behind the green curtain administrative stuff is for the institution. Human resources, payroll, communities and college relations, so all those things that are really non-student to an extent. The other entity that is actually up in the Cornerstone building is your academic pathways, our academic pathways programs. If you've not had an opportunity to get up to the Cornerstone building, I highly encourage you to check it out. It's been remodeled both on the interior and exterior. The interior remodel is fantastic. It's absolutely beautiful. So please come check it out. And that's where we'll do a lot of our college-wide activities. Like Conversation Day coming up in February will be held in the Cornerstone. That's also where we do convocations held in the Cornerstone. I think we're just finishing up the exterior part of the building. So, one of probably the most important people on institution and campus, Dee Schultz, HR, that can answer a lot of your HR questions, personnel questions. She doesn't have the answer, she'll get them for you. She's housed up there too in 109 A or B. I don't remember. We had our HR suite remodel too. So, but there's Dee's contact information, 339-6434. My extension is 6656. 339-6656. If you have any questions about strategic plan or if Dee's unavailable in any emergency, I am Dee's backup for now until we hire an assistant director of HR. And I'll be the backup to the backup. So. Windsor campus. How many are familiar with our Windsor campus? That's where we have a lot. That's Windsor campus. It's an automotive program. And we also do some general ed classes out there. I think we do some chemistry out there. But you head straight out on 34, County Road 17, head north, and then take a left. It's behind all the automobile dealerships out there. Phenomenal building. If you get a chance to take a tour there, please do. Please get out there. Yes, ma'am.
Are there expansion plans of that location?
Yes, semicolon, however, comma.
I have a motivation for that question because my daughter goes to Windsor Charter Academy.
Really?
So they're partnering with Ames to do early college. And so I'm just curious if you have, like if it's in the plan yet.
Okay, so those are two questions really. So yes, there are expansion plans for the Windsor satellite. What they are definitively, we don't know yet.
Okay.
We are pursuing the early college, and there are plans for the early college because we're pursuing it both with Windsor School District and School District 6. However, we're not sure where we're going to put the Windsor Early College.
Okay.
And that's being recorded, so I hope, man, yeah, I think that's what's happening, so. And if not, then I'm on medication, okay, so I'm not feeling too well. Any other questions on the Windsor? Loveland campus, just keep heading out on 34, get into Loveland, and you take a left on 287 South, and it's off of 4th Street, okay? Again, I think the Loveland campus has gone through remodel as well, so it's really nice looking out there too. Fort Lupton, just head south on 85. Then you get to Fort Lupton and head east on 52. Past Coyote Creek Golf Course, just on the left-hand side. The recent remodel and expansion of the Fort Lupton campus as well. So if you haven't had a chance to get out there, please do. It's absolutely beautiful. Folks in the towns of both Loveland and Fort Lupton are just ecstatic about what we've been able to do to our facilities out there for them. So, Ames Flight Center. How many of y'all been to Ames Flight Center, including the current Ames employees? Yeah. You know, I've been here for 12 years, and the first time I got to the Ames Flight Center, I'm sad to say, was just last year. It's actually really cool. It's out by the Greeley Municipal Airport, off of 8th Street, I think it is. If you head 8 on 8th Street, keep going past, there's a National Guard Armory out there or something. Really cool. They have a really good restaurant there too, the Barnstormer, I think it's called. Yeah, Barnstormer. Good burgers, good fries. So, any questions? If you don't have any questions, please feel free to give me a call if you do, 6656 again. Look forward to seeing you all around campus. Thank you for letting me spend some time with you this morning.